Alright, let's get into the article creation stuff. Just wanted to let you know that I was working on some of the issues on the real world app, and I've got a couple of pull requests there. One was to redirect things that where you're logged out and you weren't supposed to be there, and vice versa. So those are just a couple of pull requests, and also I've added in a pull request for debugging on Node, so that'll help everyone get started with that. So that's just adding this here, and the other pull request I added was slow internet today. Right, so this one here. So I also added HTML5 validation for the forms, because the moment it was just checking to see if a SVELTE variable was existing. So anyway, this is the redirect. So there's on a preload, there's we check to see the user there on the Sapper end, and then there's a redirect to the login page if there is no user and they're trying to access the editor. Same with the index page on the editor as well. So also, if they're trying to log in and the user is already there, then we send them to the home page. There's no need for them to be on the login page. These are the HTML5 validation things just required, and I removed that. So when they click submit, the HTML5 validation pops up. Anyway, let's get back to the show. So let's go to our little article list here. We see it's currently empty. So let me just put a breakpoint in the back end for you guys on the articles. So the easiest way to find things is usually just click on Command O, and then you put like / articles, and then usually you'll just see like the files you want to do here. So the moment when we create an article, I think it's just let me think. I think it's that one here, and that should take us to the Google Crowd article creation thing. And we looked at this already a little bit, but we're just going to go into more detail here, and then we'll go into the article comments. So let's just put a breakpoint here and go and create an article on the front end. So I'm just going to sign in. Okay. Of course, it's going to come in here, F8. Right, so we're going to click New Post, and then we're just going to do like article title and foo and ba. You can also do markdown, so let's try that out. And then there's tags. I won't bother with tags at the moment. We'll do another one with tags. Right, so we come in here and we get the user from authentication, of course. And then there's this thing called Slugify. So what that does is it creates a unique string that's sort of database friendly, URL friendly, I guess. And it, this is an npm library that you can check out. And what it does is it gives you this thing here. So article slug is just the name of the slug, and there's a random string, and there's this timestamp. And then we go and create this object here called new article, which has the author there, has the body, timestamp from number of milliseconds from 1970, I think, if that's what it is, and then there's a description, and there's also a favorited by array here, which would get populated a bit later on, and then there's this slug thing, which is used for like URLs and stuff like that, and then tag list as well, which you don't have any at the moment. So let's go and do an upsert on this. So what we do is we have our namespace here, which is dev, and we've got our path, which is article, and then this name here, and article data has this data. And then let's check the database. So Bob's your uncle. So there we have our ID name. So that is I think that's a slug that's been used here. And I'll just make this screen a bit smaller so that you can see everything. So that slug. So I've got namespace, and I've got this slug here, and that's going to be the ID that's used, th5, and then we have this body, and created a description, favorited by slug, and then updated at Okay, so once that's saved, we're going to just send the new article back to the client now. So we just populate fields here. So we've got this thing called new article, and we're just going to update it with these things here. Okay, so there's some extra information from the server that we can then use back in the article. So we're going to set other things in the article layer, and we're just going to clear up anything that's in the favorited by in a moment. Return a new article. So we have this article here, and then we get we can assign some stuff. So we're going to navigate, client-side navigation this time, and we're just going to go to this page here, and then that's going to actually do some things which I'll show you. So let me just get this. Well, if this screen is too small, I can make it bigger again if you like. I'm not really sure what size the screens you guys are watching things on. So anyway, let's just put a breakpoint in this route here. So we've got articles, and unfortunately we have to navigate to it first to actually get the file. So let's just go to that page. So we're on the articles page here, and what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to refresh this page so that you can see how it works. So we're going to article, and this slug thing is actually the part of the URL that's after here. I've got too many Chrome extensions. So this slug is this parameter here, and if you look at the slug file, we can see that there's a script module, and this actually preloads the information for the slug. So this actually, we can test this code if we put a breakpoint on the backend file. So that is slug svelte. So we can see the preload here. So anything that's preloaded, we can run like this. This won't work in the client, I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. I put in one there, and let's see how this page works. So refresh the page, and you can see here the slug is one of the params, and the URL params that's passed to the Svelte backend, Sapper backend, excuse me. And what we can do is we actually go to the API and retrieve that article. So let's also just look at that backend code on the articles API. So that is get. So I assume it's going to be one of these. Get. Okay, and let's just press F8. So we come in here, and we have the slug, which is the ID in the database, and then we've got this other parameter here. So we're just going to do a selection on that, and then that'll give us the article, and that's going to match, of course, the data that's in the back end. So that's going to match this data here, because we have this correct namespace, and we have the article, and we have this key, which matches this one, of course. And then there's some error handling if there's articles not found, which will be displayed on the client, and we can show you that as well. And then we actually delete this thing here. I'm not really sure why it bothers doing that for this in this case, but I guess I could ask him. And let's go. So we've got this author user. That gives us the user. Tells us who's following the user of the author of the article. So we can display that information. So as you can see here, author user. And what we're doing is we're just getting the user's article author, which is C, which that would have matched, of course, the user in here. So there's a user that it does have an ID called C, like that. So put a breakpoint there. And this is basically checking to see if there's not any junk data that's been passed to the request, which somebody could do that with Postman or something like that. And then we just set up some more fields. And it says if reader's username is provided, populate following in favorites bits. Is metadata for the post. If reader's username, alright, let's just continue now. So, do we have an article? So this is a preloaded article, and actually this would run even if the user hovered on that link, I think, because that's just how these preload things work. So the users could hover an article and it loads the article information and then we display it. And that's, you have to use, in that case, you always have to use context equal to module. Right, so we've got our slug here, an article. Let me just skip this. Okay. Back to the client. And there's our article rendered. I'm just getting a bit tired of how small the screen is. And let me just switch back to full screen again so I can show you information. So there's the articles, or the one article at the moment. So let's now try and add a tag and see how the tags work. And I'm just going to put in some stuff here, B. And this here, you type and then you click enter. And the way it's done in SVELTE here is that there is an on-enter command on the tags here, so you can see use on enter. And what that does is going to call this function called add tag, and that's going to create a tag. And then in here, there's on each tag we just render the tag to make sure the user knows what they're rendering. So that on tag is up here. So we type something here. Let's say just call it Java. Oh, sorry, it's we're checking to see if it's an enter key press there. So we'll just skip that. So I'm going to type JAVASCRIPT and press enter. And we can see here the input that's coming in is this control here. And what we do is we get the value of the input and we're just appending it to the tag list, which is currently this one, JAVASCRIPT. And then we reset it back to an empty string. So there's our JavaScript tag here. And so let's just go in the back end and show you what's going on there. So we're interested basically that the tag list is basically parsed correctly. So we'll just click publish article. Okay, and so we can see here that the new article does contain a tag list. And we're just going to insert this into the database. Come back to the client, right? And now we can see that there is a new article here that's been created, and it's got a tag called JavaScript. And if you go into database, you can see that we have our JavaScript array there. Now, in terms of what we can do with that articles once they're tagged, if we go to the home page, right? So there's some components here. So we can see that we're rendering JavaScript here. We just click anywhere here, it's going to take you to the article slug. But these ones here, I'm not sure about now, it's just a bug. But if we click JavaScript, it's going to basically, there's a component there that's going to fire off an event. So in the home component, you can see that there's a tags component there that works with the tags, and then it's also this sort of connected to other components via these variables. Now that's where I want to end this video, because in the next video I kind of want to talk a bit more about theory and how we're kind of like, we don't have Redux and React here, but we're sort of sharing stuff around, and we can talk about how that's scalable. Okay, so and we'll also talk about how the users favorite articles as well. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon. See ya.